Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another episode. Today I've got a very unique question coming from one of our subscribers, one of our listeners over on YouTube actually. So if you are actually interested in putting over a question, you can comment down below any of the YouTube videos, or you can email me at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. This is very good for if you have a unique question or a unique circumstance and you want my take on how you should go about it in the clinical research space. So I've got a very unique question here. And this one comes from, I'm not going to say this person's name, but I think this will be very applicable for you all. So here we go. She says, I'm a Vietnamese pharmacist student who wants to enter the clinical research world. I am planning to study abroad and work as a CRA in Canada. Can you recommend some graduate programs I can apply for in order to pursue the CRA career? Thank you so much. So this is a question that I get in different iterations a lot about how to pursue CRA. How do I become a CRA? Or how do I get into the clinical research field? Or I'm in this area. I actually just got another question about someone who is in lab-based research and wants to come over to clinical-based research. That video is coming soon too. But I get iterations of this question a lot. So for this person, they said she's a Vietnamese pharmacist. And so I don't know if that means that there's someone who's Vietnamese and lives in America, or they live in Vietnam, or what that specifically means. But we'll go over those different scenarios. So if you're a pharmacist in America and you want to be in the clinical research world, my recommendation to you is this should actually be fairly easy. Look up pharma companies or sponsors. They actually hire pharmacists all the time, actually. And I'm not quite sure. I remember off the top of the head what the name of the position is, but they do have positions. You know, I work for a sponsor company, and they have pharmacists on staff, actually. So that should be a very easy transition to do. So look up, your Mercks, your Pfizers, your Bayers, look up these big pharmaceutical companies, Bristol Myers Squibb. You can look at these big pharmaceutical companies, just look up the top ones, go on their websites, see what jobs require you to have a PharmD or a pharmacist degree. So look those up, apply for those, and just get your foot in the door, and then you can move around from there. Now, if this person is in Vietnam and is planning to move to Canada to become a CRA, it looks like they're trying to look for some schooling or something to kind of give them a foundation. So I would not actually recommend schooling to be in clinical research unless you have specifically talked to people who think that it would be better. Like you talk to a company who says, hey, you should probably get an undergraduate degree. You might want to think about getting a certificate or something like that. But this is a very experience-driven industry. This industry is all about experience. They do not care about your degrees. Once again, I've worked with people that have PhDs, that have DOs, that have foreign medical degrees in my lower level, entry level job positions. Because you have a degree does not guarantee you will have a good job, does not guarantee you'll be able to be a CRA, does not guarantee you anything other than the fact that you have a degree. So I would actually strongly recommend you go for experience. So how do you get experience in clinical research? Well, this is where it's a good opportunity to volunteer. This is a good opportunity to intern. This is a good opportunity for you to take that entry-level position. We've gone over the best entry-level positions in clinical research on this channel a number of times. You got clinical trial assistant, you've got project specialist, project coordinator, associate project managers. You've got a number of these clinical data associates. There's so many positions out there that are interesting that you might be able to get your foot in the door in. So I would strongly recommend that. And it totally changes. Now it's very hard to get in. It could take hundreds of jobs applications to get in, but you have a pharmacist background, so it looks like you might be able to get in faster. But it's very hard to get in. But once you get that experience, it changes. I remember I did a 3-month contract position. That was my first job in clinical research. And after those 3 months, it was very easy. I started getting a lot more callbacks. Less of my resumes started getting rejected. It was a complete game changer. And I noticed the difference right off the bat. And you'll notice the difference too. So I recommend get experience any way you can. Do those few months, immediately change your resume, update your resume. And if you have trouble with that, guys, we can help you. I've helped out a number of clients already, and actually just heard back from one earlier today about getting a CRA position. So we'll do another video on that too. But we can help you update your resume, but that's what you want to do, is update your resume, make it as succinct as possible, and reapply to jobs, apply again to more jobs. So that's just the process. Get experience, update your resume, repeat. And that's pretty much my advice for you. Now, as far as, coming from Vietnam and going into Canada, or coming from US to Canada, I'm not as well versed on those immigration specifics and how that stuff works. I live in America, so, a lot of my viewpoint and a lot of my, advice is based on American advice. Now, I have worked with people all over the globe in clinical research, so I do understand that aspect. But as far as like moving from country to country and how to get in clinical research here and that, I'm not as well versed there. So take what I'm saying, lightly, but also I do know that this is very experience driven and you want to get experience any way you can. So I hope this was helpful. If any of you guys have any questions you want me to answer personally, you can email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. I know some of these situations, are pretty specific, but if you want your questions to be answered specifically, you can email me there. All right, guys, take care.